Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my people subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we'll be talking about a few congressional districts, specifically two in the state of Florida. There has been two vacancies there. There's going to be a special election being held on April 1st in 8 days. So if you live in the state of Florida and you live in those districts, go out and vote. Now, we're going to talk about it. At first, it was going to be very tight, and that if these races were going to go to the Democrats, for example, because they were Republican held, they would increase the Democratic margin by a lot. It could change the balance of power within Congress. But there have been two Democrats since then that have died. One in the state of Texas and the other in Arizona. Then we also have another Republican vacancy in the state of New York. And in New York, we covered New York Congressional District, we covered Florida Congressional District, two congressional districts that are up in the state of Florida. That's a very big deal. Why is it significant? Because it could change the balance of power within Congress, because the Republicans had the narrowest majority in decades. Even for the Democrats, the narrowest majority in decades, 221 House seats. Now, the Republicans sit at just, I quote here, 218 seats. That's it. 218 seats is where the Republicans currently stand at this moment. They went down quite significantly. The Democrats, however, won with 215 and went down 2 to 213. So right now the margin is 218 to 213. Now, why is this important and why is this significant? Because just say the Democrats are able to flip the congressional district in Florida. That's two gain right there. They're able to hold the two Democratic seats. That's four. Right? That's four right now. So the Democrats are 213. Right? So 213 plus 4. That puts them at 217. Then New York, the state of New York congressional district, is the seat that I said in the past, and that is most likely out of all the districts, the two districts in Florida and New York, is the likeliest to flip towards the Democrats. Just say that flip too. The Democrats will have 218 218 House seats to the Republican 217. Enough to give the control of the chamber to the Democrats prior to the midterms. That's why this race is so significant. That's why we're covering it on this channel, because it could really come down to just a mere amount of votes. So go out and vote. If you know somebody in that district, tell them to go out and vote. It's important. This is going to be very interesting. Now, why is this also interesting? Because it takes place 2 days after two major astrological events. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. Now, you can go into my post or community page and you can find this. It's already pinned in the community. But you can see here that I posted March 29, 2025 will mark a partial solar eclipse. If you have not already watched my videos, don't look up. Recommend you go and do so. It's all about the partial solar eclipse and the major changes coming to the United States and the globe. But it will mark a partial solar eclipse. It will be a new day in Canada, which may mean something life-changing for the Canadians is happening around this time. Now, as we start to go one day later, we enter into the timeline of March 30th, 2025. This is very significant in essence. It will mark the first time Neptune enters Aries. The last time this happened was April 11, 1861, one day before the American Civil War began. When Neptune enters Aries, it's said to signal a time of action and purpose. Historically, Neptune in Aries has been linked to revolutionary causes and religious wars. Without certainty, Neptune in Aries in 2025 will lead to a new cultural landscape and a call to action. Expect big action coming from the Vatican and the White House around this time. Democrats and or Republicans may feel compelled to take an action. Countries that are neutral will be no more. Each will be forced to take a side. The Pope may die around this time, or a new vote for a Pope may begin around this point in time. A new agenda will be laid out for the world by a world's leader. So this is going to be really interesting to note because it talks about here Democrats and Republicans being forced to take a side and be able to take a call for action. And then there are those who may identify as independent, might be voting for the Green Party or whatever party, might be forced to take a side. So we might see a different dynamic play out in these districts. March 1st to April 12th. This is also another energy entering in. When Venus enters retrograde and goes from being in Aries back into Pisces. This time period under Venus retrograde is where you can see tactic outcome to people fighting and making up. So this could be indicating that some of these districts may say Republican because they may have been discontent. Maybe the poll are saying it's going to the Democrats, or it might be leaning more Democratic, but actually it stays Republican. And it could just be simply under the Venus retrograde, which said that, yeah, they may have discontent with the Republican Party, but they may stay at their discontent. Doesn't mean they vote the same way. Right? That's what that could be indicating. So we could see a Republican in office still for those seats. Right? We saw with 45 and Zelensky hours of the interview taking place when Venus went into retrograde, literally right after this happened. Right? A reemergement of an exile topic or a person coming back from the past. This could relate to issues one talked about from the past. So it could be related to the Mueller report, it could be talking about Russia, interference, so there could be some sort of foreign interference in this. I'm seeing people like Putin and Mueller report. Any sort of connection will be temporary, of course. Spending can be massive this month and could mean that the congressional funding bill may be larger than ever or larger than normal. This might be high turnout, right? This is normally not a good idea financially long term. This time period could provide a clear glimpse on how weak the economy truly is. Maybe the economy is weaker by this point. It may even crash. Lastly, old insecurities may arise during this time. Expect problems related to Americans' hidden path to reemerge and cause new issues. So we could see something come out in this race when the election starts to get closer. March 14th to April 16th will mark when Mercury entered retrograde and goes from being in Aries back into Pisces, another sign from Aries into Pisces. When we enter misinformation will be rampant during this time period. AI may be a contributing factor to this. This also includes any plausibility or possibility of an election taking place around this time, which in aspect it is. Slowness and lack of communication around health and diseases to be expected. I'm getting hints around animal health related to foodborne illnesses. Technology may go down in some parts of the country due to accidents occurring. Expect more crashes to occur during this time, whether physical or metaphorical. Traveling during this time is not advised. The White House may see 45 give its first press release addressing the nation regarding accidents, but we may receive false information regarding them because people who are around him are afraid to be honest and upfront with him. Elon may be sent to here in some way. If any scientific travel takes place, you expect something horrific to go wrong. So that is the energy, that's something that I've been getting for quite some time. These are the energies that we're walking into in these couple of elections. Now, I talked about Florida's first congressional district being Republican, staying Republican. Same thing for the 6th congressional district. And then we'll take a look at New York. And then we'll end that today's video. But if you want to watch my previous video where I talked about it a couple of months ago, I'll put that link in the description below. Now, New York congressional district, the 21st congressional district, had not yet set a date for when that election is going to take place, so we don't necessarily know when that's going to happen. But anyway, let's go ahead, let's begin. This video is already long enough. But I wanted to tell you that, because I feel like you guys will like that. Alright, so Spirits and Angels, tell me about the 1st congressional district in Florida. Show me the Democrats. Show me a card that represents the Democrats. Okay. Show me the card that represents the Republicans. Okay. Show me a winning card for the Republicans. For the Democrats. Show me a winning card for the Democrats in the 1st district, I think. Show me a winning card for the Republicans. I think I picked the 1st congressional district. I think I said that. Okay, well, we'll read on it and then, yeah. Show me a losing card for the Republicans. Show me a losing card for the Democrats. Show me a losing card for the Democrats. Losing card for the Democrats. Okay. Alright, so I assume this is the first congressional district. I assume that's the first one I'm doing. So here you have is the losing cards. So these are the losing cards. These are the winning cards. And this is the party itself, the candidate. We'll take a look. Let's see how they're doing individually. What are their traits and strengths? Okay, so the Republican candidate, it appears to me, weaker in terms of his communication and effective ability to communicate what it is that he wants to do with his people and his electorate. Essentially, his Republican candidate is actually a lot weaker. It's not strong. The Democrat, though, was too fast spoken. That is their weakness. Too fast spoken. They speak too fast, and they're not connecting with the voters. It feels like in some way the Democrats in this aspect here, he's not making it easy for the common man in this district. This person is telling me here that they are just wailing, but they're not telling people why they want the things that they want. They're not explaining why they're making the policy standards that they are. That's where this person's going wrong. This person, however, cannot communicate effectively to the people in this district. There's something wrong here with this person. I almost feel like this person's weak in some way. This person is not seen as someone strong, who's not a viable candidate. So if this candidate was to run for the governorship in the state of Florida anytime in the future, they will lose because this may work in a congressional district, but most people don't watch things. They don't care about how the district goes. So to them, it does not matter. On a more national stage, this, done. This is going to kill any campaign. This, however, may not kill a campaign. Now, go in here and let's take a look and see the winning cards here. This is going to be a very tight race. So we have the Queen of Wands here, which is the Democrats card. This is the sitting on the throne, right? This is the winning card. The winning card, I'm getting betrayal here. Getting betrayal. So we have the winning card, the person on the throne. You guys all know what happened when I say the person sitting on the throne is the one who wins, right? When it's upright. Or who wins, yeah. When it's reversed, it's the opposite. The thing is also here for the Republicans, we also have him sitting on this throne, but it's not a throne, it's a chair, it's a bench. He's sitting on this bench. What am I getting from this? I'm getting the energy that the Republicans, or in some ways, the state of Florida, there's going to be some sort of shenanigans going on in the 1st Congressional District. We have betrayal. The Democrats are the Queen of Wands here, they get betrayed. They get betrayed. There's something going on here in the 1st District that the Democrats look like they're going to win, they win, but then something happens and the Republicans win. Because it's that illusion that they are on the chair. That's why it's the bench, not a throne, because they didn't win it. But doesn't mean anything. You can rig an election. If you can rig it and you can get away with it, you're a winner, regardless if you're on the bench, whether or not you're on the throne. You have more power than the throne at this point. Essentially, that's what it means. There could be some sort of manipulation. It could be what it's indicating. If the Republican win, it's going to be due to manipulation. If the Democrats win, it's going to be because of the failure to manipulate effectively. We're going to see the strength of this. Yeah, we also have here the Temperance. He does not have a lot of support. This is like shady stuff. This is Temperance, imbalance. He does not have a lot of support in this district. But we have the Queen of Wands here. The Democrats feel betrayed in some way. The voter, the person feels betrayed. The candidate feels betrayed. But even though people don't feel very confident about this individual, somehow he's still a winner. Somehow he's the winner. Because here you have the losing card. The losing card here means walking away. It's reversed, which means this is not walking away. The Republican Party don't walk away with us. They don't walk away like they lose it, like they have it in the bag already, like it feels like. Because here you have, on the left side here, you have the Three of Wands reverse, and the Three of Wands reverse is telling me this is watching the election night roll in. The results. This is reverse. The top of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups, the woman in reverse. Yeah, she loses. Yeah, so I don't think this person's actually a woman in this district, but it's the Democrat. The Democrats are represented as the female. Here's the Queen of Cups reversed. I'm not getting any indication it's the male. I'm not getting any indication that the Democrats are winning. Here you have it, the Queen of Swords. The Page of Swords, excuse me, I really botched that. It's the Page of Swords. New idea, new concept, new leader. New leader, he slaps it on, the sword is on the right side. This person looking at the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, which tells me the Democrats lose. The Republicans win the first congressional district due to some shady business. Despite the candidate being weaker overall, he still wins, regardless. It's the fake throne. If, for some reason, the Democrats are able to hold on or able to flip the district, it will be really interesting to see how that dynamic will play out. Actually, speaking of which, because I didn't remember what district I was covering originally, I'm just going to ask the cards, two cards, just to see if the district is going to flip to the Democrats. It might say yes, doesn't mean anything. Like I said, there's some shady business going on. So, there's that. Spirit Angels tell me, will the district flip to the Democrats? The first congressional district added Florida on April 1st. Will the district flip toward the Democrats, and will they officially declare a Democrat as a winner? No. 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 Here you have is someone coming in last minute to save the night. He is the Knight of Swords. And the top of the card here we have the Eight of Wands. Not hardship. And here you have it, the Knight of Wands. Here, the Knight of Wands, the Republican or the Conservative walking away with this pretty rapidly. This is the Democrat card that came up. It's the Queen of Wands reverse. So, because of this, the decision has been called. And even though the Republican did not win, there was some additional help in this district. And here the Conservative. Now, normally you guys know when this card is reversed, it means the individual loses, right? But when it's upright, they win. The party in power wins, the incumbent. It's reversed. This is my Conservative card. It's reversed. But this card comes in Six of Swords. It tells me troubled water into smoother, calmer water. It's telling me here this person getting help. So yeah, it's the first congressional district. I would say it's a little flimsy on the result in the state of Florida's first congressional district. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Florida's 6th congressional district. This angel, tell me about Florida's 6th congressional district. How are they going to vote in Florida's 6th congressional district? Show me the card that represents the Democratic candidate in Florida's 6th. Kind of Hierophant. Show me a card that represents the Republican candidate. Okay, this is also a Republican district. This is won by a Republican in 2024. Show me the losing card. Show me a winning card for the Democrats in the 6th congressional district. Show me a winning card for the Republicans in the 6th congressional district of Florida. Show me a winning card. Okay. So we have that. Show me a losing card for Florida's 6th congressional district. Okay, show me a losing card for Republican's 6th congressional district. Okay, so this is Florida. Let's take a look. What's on the top of the deck? Ooh, same card again. Page of Swords and new leader. We have the candidate for the Democrats here represented as the Hierophant, the government, the establishment Democrats. What does it feel like? There's some way, in some form, the Democrat here is more of like a traditional conservative Democrat, like more like a Joe Manchin than your average Democrat right now. Here you have the Republican, though, is represented in the 6th congressional district at the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is telling me here that they are expecting to be handed the control of power, that they are expecting to be the winner in this representative seat, which means they feel like this person's lazy and doesn't want to try. That's what it feels like. Here in the winning card here for the Democrats here, we have wishful thinking. It's reverse. This tells me, yeah, no, they could win. This is not wishful. I think out of the 2 districts in Florida, I would say the 6th congressional district looks very likely to flip. Now, for the Republicans, though, we also have the winning card for the Republicans. We represented by the 10 of Cups. This is the election. It's expecting things to go the way you want it to go. Everything's on your side right here. This is what they're expecting. The losing card, what will happen if they lose? We have here for the Democrats here, we have the Page of Pentacles. There was not enough funding. There was not enough communication, not enough voter turnout. But typically, it feels like in a way that people just didn't care. That's what this Page of Pentacles in reverse is telling me for Florida's 6th congressional district for the Republicans. If they lose, it's the Temperance card. Something didn't come through for them. A plan of action did not come through, and it ended up in a betrayal. So that's what it feels like. There is some sort of scandal. If this individual does win, the Republican win, but if the Democrats win, it's because it's the establishment. But I feel like I'm getting the energy right now that the establishment Democrats are going to start to see the Democratic Party start to not do so well in regards to the breakup of the Democratic Party as it starts to reshuffle its leadership position from Chuck Schumer to AOC and Bernie Sanders. Here in the center of the reading, though, what is the top and the bottom of the card? The top of the card means the Page of Swords and great opportunity, new position. We have here, again, it's also leading towards the Republican, because this individual understood the mentalities on the Republican side, while the voters are looking at the Democrats. So the Democrats are paying attention to how the candidate is doing, what they are saying. However, the Page of Wands, these people end up choosing their leader. They end up going in the direction of the Republican. I'm going to say as of right now, it looks like the 6th congressional district is also going to stay Republican. I don't see anything else changing that. I do see some shady business in the 1st congressional district, but it may not work in the 6th congressional district, is what it feels like. In some ways, something put the halt to it. Does not get halted in the 1st district, though, but in the 2nd district, it does. Let's take a look at New York and see what's going on in the state of New York. Spirits and Angels, tell me about New York 21st Congressional District. How is it going to vote in New York 21st Congressional District as of right now? This is for Lisa Solokin's Congressional District. It's in upstate New York. We have here great fortune. Great fortune in the past. A person or a woman won this seat many times. However, the world has been turned upside down for these people in this district. And because the world has been turned upside down, a lot of these people have left the district for better opportunity. And because they left this district for better opportunities, they're going to vote the same way. The Queen of Days of Cups. Why is this important? It basically tells you in this specific district that the people who are hurting the most in these districts already left. So those people who would have voted Democrat or against the current administration, the current incumbent party, which is the Republican, in that congressional district, would not go out and vote because they no longer reside in that district. They may vote Democrat in another district, but they're not going to vote Democrat in this district. And here you have here the 3 of Pentacles. They're telling me to revisit this at another time because the voter tally, the voter base, people are coming in before the election is held. So they're telling me that something is changing in this state, specifically in this congressional district, to be visited at a later date. So that's all that I got for you guys in the 3 congressional district seats. We will talk about New York and the other 2 Democratic congressional seats as well in another video. But if you want to watch my old video on whether or not the Democrats are going to flip the House, and etc., you can find all of that in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I will see you all next time. Until then, peace out and I love you.